All right, green, white tokens. So, got a couple of different token payoffs in the format. We've got Woodland Champion here. One or more tokens into the battlefield under your control. You get to put some 1/1 counters on it. We've got Akroan Veteran here, which leverages tokens to scale up and basically attack for 7 on the 4th turn of the game. We got Conclave Tribunal, which likes us having a bunch of different creatures in play. We got Venerated Loxodon, which is a payoff for having lots of small bodies. Assure Assemble this is probably a card that probably the most suspect in the list. 6 mana for 3/2/2s is pretty below rate, and I'm not sure that this deck really has cards that are super worth protecting. I suppose the Assure half is decent with Woodland Champion, so maybe we'll see that come up. Although again, in a format with 3 mana Teferi, having reactive cards like this tends to not be particularly good, just because you're frequently not going to be able to have that as a payoff. March of the Multitudes is a card I've been underwhelmed by in the past as well. It frequently feels like the case where when this card is good, hey, thanks for the biddies, low one. When this card is good, you probably already have a big board, and when it's not good, you're just behind and it doesn't help you catch up. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches with this one and see how it goes. As always, especially people who have been here a while, I see Mod Swords not following the rules. Card recommendations. Tell me why we should play the cards you're suggesting, what it should replace, why it's a good replacement, what problem do we have that's being solved by the suggestion that you're making, etc., etc. Well, thanks for the support, House. You should pop on into the subs Discord server too. We have a channel in there where folks have been talking about raid that are playing here. Yeah, definitely in for a 3rd land. I don't know if this is actually the person that we just played, but if they are, they're a real wanker. Someone just messaged me and told me that they were the person we played in the last match, that they were watching the stream for the 3rd game to play around our stuff, which explains some of their long pauses, I guess, potentially. I don't know. It's impossible to know if that's actually the person we played against or if it's just some wanker trying to get me riled up. Could be a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Listen, chat. If someone is ghosting, if their life is in such a god-awful spot that they need to win a ladder match that badly, just, let them have it, right? Like, if their life has so little joy that they have to scum their way into a ladder match victory, I really don't need the win as much as they do. That's not bad. So next turn, we'll get to go land, march for 5 Loxodon on the 5/5/1/1s, and then promptly die to Embercleave. So, Fatboy Wealthy, I want to point out what you did there, because what you did there is something people very commonly do. I asked you to tell me, what problem do I have that the card recommendation solves? And what you did there was you told me the text of the Magic cards. Unlike many Magic players, I am not illiterate. So I can read the card that's being recommended. I don't need you to parrot the card text back at me. When I say, tell me what problem we have that it solves, I mean, like, give me specifics. Say, Jeff, in this matchup, this situation frequently comes up, and we get to overcome that situation by doing this. This is a generic situation that comes up in a variety of matchups. This is how this card helps us overcome that situation. That's the type of feedback I'm looking for. I'm not just looking to hear you say, this is what the card does, because I know what the card does. Cheddar is no cheese. Thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Well, yeah, so like people are comparing 1/2 to 1/2. So like this card does multiple things. Now, short question. If I do this for 5 and then make my tokens bigger, do I die on board? So if I only have this as a blocker, I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I can't do that. No, I'm just dead on board, right? With the castle, I'm just dead on board. Because I'd block a 4, and then I'd take 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 17 exactly. So I think I'm just passing. Who should you start with on raid? I think everyone other than the orc is a reasonable character. Alright, so I think we're going to be using the March defensively here. So all of their creatures have 1 more power than currently printed on them. I think I'm going to make 3 things here. And then we can trade a bunch of 1/1s here. Hey, Solaris, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream today. Oh, Combo Winter is so cold, chat. Why is the they were empty-handed to start that turn. Just for reference, for those of you taking notes at home, they were empty-handed to start that turn. For those of you that are like writing these things down. It's I feel like this should probably be Thrashy Boy. Thrashing Brontodon is so much better against red than Knight of Autumn. Yeah, this is pretty good. We need to splash for cleave something. I think we're bottoming her. Looking for a land at this point. Can we get a comboed emote? What does that look like? What does a comboed emote look like? This card was really impressive in the green-red deck we played the other day. Of course, that deck had, what's it called? Had Embercleave in it to pull it through. Man, I don't know if Twitch glitched or like if people were just so disgusted they left, but the viewer count just dropped like 500 people. Apparently Embercleave makes people throw up. They have a pump spell here, like an Infuriate. It's just an Embercleave, you know? Oh, weird. Yeah, it must just be a Twitch bug. Sometimes Twitch does that where it, like, randomly drops off a bunch. Maybe I should have put all of my 1/1s in front of this. I guess that's worse against Cleave, though, right? They could still have Cleave here. Okay, well, you know, and again, like, this is the type of board state where, like, normally in reasonable formats, this type of board state would be very good against the red deck, but it just isn't in a format where, like where we're living, where they have these combo draws, right? Although that's pretty good for us. All right, so let's do this into this. Into this. Exile Hardened the Forge. Phoenix is a little scary. It's them. Spend their mana pumping it up here. Well, that's aggressive. Are we dead? Pretty close to it, huh? It's a good draw. This would have been lethal, huh? Shh.
I miss my mentor's guidance.
Be very quiet, chat. There's a robbery in progress. Be very quiet, chat. There's a robbery in progress. Oh, I did have the life flicker. You're right. You're right. Good catch. Good catch. We would have seen it once we block. Opponent smarter than Twitch chat. Weird. We are currently not dead to Cleave. Not with that attitude. We are actually alive through Cleave, aren't we? What a strange day. All right. Is this too aggressive? Is this too aggressive? I feel like it's like appropriately aggressive. If they draw Cleave, do I die? If they draw Cleave and put it here, I like go block and put blocks on everything else. think we're dead to cleave on like a Steamkin, right? Because like I have to put a 1/1 in front of one of these. Alright, should be good to go here. Thanks, Lights. I appreciate it. One Love. Thank you for the 14 months. I think I'm happy with how I boarded. I'm going to run it back. Yeah, I mean, in a traditional sense, the deck that we're playing is very good against red aggro. It's not very good against red combo, though. So, like, the Torbrands and the Ember Cleaves kind of cut right through us. Whereas, like, when they're on the honest creature burn you out plan, we have a lot of staying power. Our 5/5s and our 4/4s are super reasonable. You know what else beats red without Ember Cleave? Everyone. I don't know if that's true. Torbrand and Annex are still like fine. Like I bet red without Ember Cleave still messes up blue-white control. What is the timing you need in order to maintain the Prime sub? For the streak bonus, I believe you have like a 5 or 7 day window. But every 30 days you can renew your Prime sub, I believe. If you're on a desktop computer and you click the subscribe button while your Prime sub is used, it'll show you when it's available again. Why is Cleave such a beating relative to the other mythic artifacts? Because it's cheaper to start, it's easier to reduce the cost on, and its impact actually kills you. It doesn't just give you value for later. If you look at all the other artifacts, they're cards that are kind of mopey and generate value. The closest thing to generating immediate board presence is... what's it called? The... white one, and even that one doesn't come nearly as good as Cleave. That was a cycle? It's funny because it's sad. It's funny because it's sad. Yeah, it's a cycle. I'm just gonna go ahead and use this mana this turn. Just take out this Bone Crusher. So this creates a soldier, then puts 3 counters on something, then draws a card if we control something with 4 or more power. Alright, they're a little bit slow out the gates this game since they missed their third land on 3. And we're going to close this game out relatively quickly. We're going to draw 2 cards with the game's next turn. Okay. Black one reads like they had to nerf it hard during development. Yeah, I think so. All right. Slow red starts means we had a shot. I think I am gonna swap. I know we just beat red there, but I do think in general I like Thrashing a lot better than Knight of Autumn in this format. Just the bigger body and the ability to kill Cleave before it ever hits you is a really big deal. So I think even in decks that can cast Knight of Autumn, I think you're just better off with Brontodon. How do you fix Cleave? Well, the really easy way to make Cleave worse while still being a very similar card is take the +1/+1 off it. Like that. That would be super easy, right? Hey, Sophie, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. You're having a good one wherever you are. Good clean curve here for us. Just turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. I mean, it's still very good, right, Marty? Like, I'm not even saying that would make it bad. You just like to downgrade its power in a very obvious way that downgrades its power. Why Elspeth conquers death gives +1/+1? Probably so Dream Trawler can attack past my Cavalier of Thorns. Has anyone hit Shillionaire yet? No, it's not possible to have hit Shillionaire yet. The number of points I costed Shillionaire at means that it's gonna be like a year or so of regular watching for people to hit it. She conquers death and is stronger for it. It's flavor. Well, if we're talking about the flavor, it should only bring back a card named Elspeth, right? That should be the flavor. You're fine, Swift. It's not a big deal. The Eldest Reborn sounds better, it sounds more metal. It definitely sounds more metal. You're not wrong.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
Complete and total unplayable dumpster fire, Nas. Twas real rough. You got to play Yarok and Field of it this weekend. What format were you playing? Did you play in Pioneer? No, it's not legal in Pioneer, right? Were you playing like Brawl or something? Where are those 2 cards legal? Must be EDH, right? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Huh? So, I think I Veteran, and then Loxodon, and then next turn we can Raptor attack. Long-time listener / sub on my husband Twitch. I thought I'd sub too to send some extra support since you have an extra on the way. Thanks, Sophie. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. This is not quite Maze of Ith. Yeah, 4 mana kind of maze. The labyrinth, if you would. Hey, Tibbs. Thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hooglandia. 5 mana, really, right? Yeah, if you didn't see it, Christy and I posted a thing over the weekend. Can you untap things at the end of combat on Arena? Yes, I believe so, but this is only opponents, right? No, it is yours too, huh? So you could use this to make your trawler pseudo-vigilant? That's gross. Yeah, so old Maze of Ith combat trick. You can let your Dream Trawler deal damage. Oh, it doesn't untap? Oh, good call. Weird. Okay, so it's not quite Maze of Ith. It's not strictly worse Maze of Ith, chat. It doesn't untap. Duh. Yeah, you know what's sweet? I don't have to worry about getting Settle the Wreckage here. You can sneakily remove a double block. Ooh, that's a good thing to point out. This is like relatively close to lethal, right? God, we're so close you can like taste it. I think I'm just supposed to pass here, right? I think we're just supposed to pass. Lethal adjacent, real close.
I know my responsibility.
Dream Trawler turns Gadwick into Sphinx's Revelation. It does, doesn't it?
I'll protect you.
Yes, the person responsible for the overlay did finally update it. I think I'm still planning to fork the project though, just because like we've had delays and slows both times the last 2 sets, so I just want to make sure that doesn't happen again. So when Ikiora releases, I want it to just like be ready to go guaranteed. Whenever they cast an instant or sorcery spell, make a friendo. That sounds good. Destiny Spinner sounds fine. I think I'm supposed to cut Lovestruck Beast in this matchup. Do we have enough other? I guess I have Emmara and Elspeth that make tokens. I'm gonna trim a couple Loxodons. This card's really good during our best linear draws, but like in order for this card to be good, we have to have a lot of cards in. Games is tough to trigger in this matchup. I think this is good just because I don't know that it's actually that tough. Like we have this, and it kind of self-enables too. Yeah, this is another card that lets Beast attack. I think I like the games. Someone asked, to fork a project is an open source software term. So Deckmaster is an application that has the source code available on GitHub. So when you fork an open source project, you copy their existing code base and then make edits and improvements to it yourself. I would assume the castle was left out just because the person who built this wanted the deck to be as aggressive as possible, and like having double tapped land openers is real awkward in your aggro deck. So like temple plus castle to start means you can't play a 2-drop on 2. Missed land drop. They don't even have Esper lands in their deck. They're just blue-white. Don't need a third one of those. I don't know, Coot, something descriptive. The fact that Deckmaster is called Deckmaster makes most people think that it's something related to displaying your deck list as opposed to displaying the battlefield. I would like it to be called something that, like, when you hear the name, you're like, oh yeah, that's what that does. MasterCard overlay. MTGA RTFC could be, that could work. I kind of like that. MTGA RTFC. Is that too on the nose? Marty, read the flipping card. Thank you very much. Family friendly, Marty. Read the field currently. That's it. We can call it RTFC, and it can stand for read the field currently. That's great. Arena RTFC. That's great. I feel like that's a winner. MTGA RTFC. Read the field clearly. There you go. There you go. Bright Star perfecting the details. Read the field clearly. That's it. Yeah, love it. Only have 2 cards in our bin, including Elspeth. She takes 4 cards to escape, so she'll need a little bit more stuff in there before she can do anything.
That's more like it.
What a wholesome app. I'll buy it for my grandson. Oh. Arena RTFC. Yeah, that rolls off the tongue well, huh? You know what I love, chat? I love getting all of my creatures destroyed mid-combat. It makes Magic a more enjoyable game. Hey, at least they didn't have an Elspeth in play, or a Narset in play, huh? Glass half full, we actually got to draw a card.
Be a bad idea.
Feel like we're done there. I think I'm happy with how we boarded. Just gonna run it back. I'm glad Settle the Record. I mean, it drew us a card at least, right, Fim? Because if they were going to Brazen Borrower my thing, I wanted to get another 1/1 token. We are not on the rank floor currently, I don't believe. I'm trying to decide if I feel like making an effort to top 1200 this month. I feel like the answer is no. Like, making an effort to top 1200 to then have to go 10-1 in a tournament to get prizes that are meaningful sounds like a waste of my time. And like, I can't really qualify for the MPL anyways anymore because there's no way I could sign their contract. So I kind of feel like I probably just get to ignore it, right? Yeah, so they restructured it. The arena qualifier weekends are not 2-day tournaments anymore. They're tournaments that you have to go 10-1 in, or you don't get basically anything. You get 200 gems per match win, which is effectively nothing. This month is for an MCQ. Last month was a gem CQ. Which, speaking of, the Gem CQ should be taking place at some point this month, which I guess I'm technically qualified for. Is the content you make in the tournaments not worth it? No, it's really high variance, Happy Boys. So, like, if you have a good run, you can be worth something. But, like, the odds of having a good run are really low. And actually, only doing a short stream is a net negative for my content. So, like, having a good run, have a lot of viewers, kind of gets offset by the possibility of having a bad run be a low viewer stream. I couldn't sign the contract because it wouldn't pay me anything. Because every time I opened my mouth, they would take $500 of my prizes away. That's the joke with the thing, with the $500 icon. It's based, like all good jokes, it's based in truth. Well, they can't bill you. They can just dock your prizes. I think I just do this to make some 1-1s.
Even the gods cannot escape. I am proud of my comrades.
If it's retroactive, they take his house. Yeah, Viking, it's one of those things where, like, it's so obnoxious, you're like, that can't be true. And then, like, you dig into it and you're like, oh, they actually did this. Yes, that's true. That's true, too. I wouldn't, to be fair, I probably wouldn't even get fined, right? They'd just throw me out. Because it's a $500 fine if you do it on accident. And if they determine you do it on purpose, they terminate you from the league. And let's be honest, I'm pretty careful with the words that I say. I really don't say things on accident. I have never felt like this card was constructed playable, Punchworthy. I think that's a good observation from you. And every sentence with a big oops. What did I just say? I didn't know. How is that supposed to know? I think I just hope for no second sweeper here and just go like threat, elephant. And then hope to kill them with this next turn. Okay, the fact that they counterspelled that kind of implies they don't have a sweeper, right? If they had a sweeper, they'd let that resolve and just kill it. All right, I'm gonna pass here and just hold up Assure, so this way if they have the sweeper, I keep my Loxodon. It means I miss an attack with this next turn, but I can play it pre-combat, pump these up, and then crack them for 10. And I don't have lethal next turn anyways. Yeah, I don't feel like we have enough 1/1 counters to really make the Raptors worthwhile. So I attacked with this because this could give it a 1/1 counter. Let's bump those up. I got back from Twitter and saw there will be no banner restricted today. They said they'll give us an advance warning when they plan on it. I mean, I knew that that's what was happening, but it's still, I'm still disappointed. I'm still let down. I expected very little. Yeah, it speaks volumes about the current state of the format that if you feel it's necessary to announce that there's no changes, you probably should be making changes. Does that seem fair? I feel like that's a pretty reasonable takeaway. If the current state of your game requires you to tell the players, no, we're not changing anything, you probably means you should be changing something. All right, so this is 9, 10, 11. I'm 1 point of damage short. That's so annoying. If I'd have done this at end of turn, we would have killed them. I just couldn't know. I was drawing this right. That was weird. The blue-white player didn't have it yet. That was so strange. I mean, Raptor kind of drug us across the finish line there. I was thinking about cutting him, but I feel like I need to give him another chance. I feel like Raptor's not used up yet. Who's the MTG pro they called Raptor? I think that's Josh Utterlayton. Not 100% on that, though. He's a player that played on Huatli circuits, which is not something I've really played. I've really played on. Twitch keeps bothering me to share this. No worries, lights. Fear Zim, thanks for the brand new Prime Sport. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oaklandia. Thanks for keeping me around. Who do I think will win Worlds? I chose Javier Dominguez for my Choose Your Champion thing, because man's been on a tear. You know, Drunk Owl, I honestly feel like that's an attitude that exists a little bit. I mean, it's Magic Worlds Tournament. Like, all of the players there are very good Magic players. But, like, if you just, like, look at the years that all these players have had, like, Javier Dominguez is, like, he's a step above, I think, just looking at his results. I think you could pick most of the people there and have a very reasonable shot. It's not like an open attendance tournament or even a multi-hundred player tournament, or even like the Arena Invitationals had like a number of weaker players in them, right? Like, to get to Worlds, you've played a ton of Magic and you've probably played well for a lot of it. So, I actually don't think Unbreakable Formation's very good in this format right now. One of the things I think players do incorrectly with that card a lot of the time is I see a lot of people trying to play Unbreakable Formations against decks that have sweepers in them. And in decks like what we're playing, you don't have the ability to hold up 3 mana in most games to protect from a sweeper, he says, as he holds up 3 mana to protect from a sweeper. So again, this is kind of the exception, not the rule in my experience. In my opinion, Unbreakable Formation is a card that really shone as a card that lets you break big board stalls in more mid-rangey games. And there really aren't big board mid-range games in this format. They just really don't exist. This format has heavy control and combo decks in it, basically. That feels like the bulk of the format to me. Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go again. Should have known, should have known, should have known again. Do 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 do. Are we finally playing a deck bad enough to lose to T-Barek? Yep. Tempo me into the Stone Age, Daddy. You know just how I like it. Brazenly borrow me. Yep. Yep, yep, yep.
Heroes, rally to me.
Sure, I think that's a fine position to take from it, Branch. But again, like, the types of matchups where that card really excels, I think still don't exist in this format. I agree with you that it's better at that specific use than trying to counter sweepers, especially in a format where a lot of the sweeper decks have Teferi to make your Unbreakable Formation even worse than it already is. It's been over a year since mid-range felt really good in Standard. Was really hoping to draw a land here so that way I could go 2-drop into Conclave Tribunal this. Now I just have to Tribunal it and like not do anything else for the turn. Hey, wife.
Is it okay if I visit Hoglandia?
You can visit Hoglandia. How is our 6-year-old?
He's 6.
He's 6.
It's weird.
He's very old.
He is very old. He's like a grouchy teenager.
He's a grouchy teenager. His Jacob's grandmother called him last night to wish him happy birthday, and he said hello to her, and then he said, "Okay, I gotta go finish watching my show. Bye." Just like priorities.
Is that a little pet sleeping there?
It is a little pet. See, this one's mine. It flies around. This is Declan's favorite part of the client.
The owl?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
specifically the owl
no,
or
the
whatever's
pets.
over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
When
Is that one a fox?
yes, it's a fox wearing armor. When you have emotes turned off, their pets just lay down.
That's dumb. Turn the emotes on.
Emotes are annoying. Are we
Are
dead
you
here?
always the owl? Or
No.
does it depend on what deck you're playing?
So, Arena isn't an application that has advanced features like configuring pets per deck, so you just have one pet set to your card. Look at that! My wife has been looking at this game for 30 seconds and is like, you know what? That's a feature that should exist. And she's right. It is a feature that should probably exist.
So do you just always pick the owl?
Yeah, I think that was my favorite. It's also effort to like go in and change it and toggle it, and
But maybe chat gets bored of the owl. I guess they get the other teams.
tell her about you can't pick battle boards either. You're just stuck with whatever board
Is
gets
it
rolled
random?
at random. It's real sad. All right, so we definitely want Thrashy B
That
here.
one's pretty. What's with this card?
These are sagas. They're vertically painted. But then because Arena is a very advanced piece of technology, none of the vertical cards have a borderless option.
Do they in real life?
There's foil versions of them. I suppose you get...
Foil, digital foil is dumb.
Well, this is like... The borderless is like digital foil.
Oh, it moves.
Yeah.
That's cute.
They have some small animations to them. These are really good. They just don't... You just can't get foils for every version of every card. Because they don't like money, apparently.
Is this what it looks like in person?
Yes. So, like, this is a card that's
No,
not
this
border.
one.
Yeah, that's what they look like in person.
It's just weird.
Yep, templated different. I need one more cut here. Lovestruck Beast is probably a little bit medium, right? They have a lot of bounce effects.
That looks pretty on a lot of these cards.
I
Are these newer?
I think this is cheap enough. That's worth leaving in against their sweepers. Yeah, the art direction of Magic is
Is this
definitely
standard?
good. This is standard.
So these
yeah.
are all newer cards?
Yep, last 2 years.
The art's like
Year and a
come
half.
a long way.
Yeah, a lot of people like really like some of the older stuff and just like it looks like it's classic. A lot of it I think's really bad.
Yeah, this is like pretty.
The Spider Mom make a baby even if they bounce it. Yeah, maybe that's good enough. Maybe the spiders are better than the other Lovestruck Beasts, perhaps. Arena is like a pillowcase stuffed with magic cards held up by puppet strings forced to dance. Poor Arena. Just love Arena. It's trying really hard. It's not Arena's fault. It's just like trying to get by. Come on now.
Make that whole dance again.
Make that whole dance. He can change his colors too.
Oh, cute. There's only 3 colors. Look, he danced again. Did you turn the emotes on?
I did not. You want me to turn emotes on and poke my opponent's fox?
Yeah. I want to see what it does.
I think it growls
Am I
at
going
me.
to crash the client?
Yeah, am I gonna crash the guy asking the real questions? Yeah, when you click on their pets, they yell at you.
Oh,
There's like a cat that hisses.
it's like Pokemon. Except they all make the same roaring sound,
Yeah,
which is kind
and-
of disappointing.
At one point, so the reason why disabling emotes disables the pet is because at one point, if you change the color on your pet too much, it would cause your opponent's client to lock up and crash.
So, win condition?
It was kind of a win condition, yeah.
Hey, you gotta work with what you're given.
Now, the real question here is, do we play around a sweeper? I guess the answer is no, because they keep killing all of our stuff, which kind of implies they don't have it. That's a decent pickup. It kind of encourages me to take it slow. I think because I have... If I didn't draw the protection spell
Chat's
here,
talking
I
to
think
you.
we would have GM'd 2-2.
You should pay attention to chat.
Your wife's great, buy her stuff. She is quite wonderful. She's already started buying lots of pink stuff.
I bought 3 onesies.
Yeah, but we've only known for 3 days, so that's like a thing per day.
They were on clearance. How could I pass up clearance? I'm a sucker for a good deal.
I think we just protect this here, because this stacks a 1/1 counter on it too, so that way Huatli's Raptor can pump it up next turn. I apologize for the kazoo. I never had a chance to till now. The children really like the kazoo,
They love
believe it or
the
not.
kazoos.
Can we make donations towards diapers specifically? Sure. Lord knows those will get used. Hey, Barrel Slider, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. All right, if we can dodge a Storm's Wrath, we can dodge a ball here. I feel like the way they played out their spot removal so aggressively, they likely didn't have it, but they did just Omen, so they could have found it.
See, all the wives like clearance.
Yikes. So, Elspeth would be the best draw. Unfortunately, we no longer have a 1/1, so Lovestruck Beast can't do much here.
You smell good. Did you take your monthly shower today?
I did take my monthly shower today. Listen, I'm a Magic player. We're only obligated to take one per month. Probably dead here. The number of times that Niv Mizzet untaps and doesn't win the game are kind of few and far between. That'll do, pig. That'll do. All right, we finally did it, chat. We found a deck that could lose to Team of Reclamation. We knew they existed, right? Other people keep winning with them.
You could tell Marty I didn't want you to cut it.
You look like you need a shave. You're starting to look like a Magic player. Christy likes the beard. So normally I trim it by now, but she said she liked it.
When
so.
it's short, it's scratchy, but when it's longer, it's soft.
I went to SCG Philly this weekend and debated not showering Sunday morning, but I did not want to be one. Well, God bless you. Look at you making good decisions. I missed your donation, Dr. Jack. Oh, I totally did. I'm bad at this. Put this towards your favorite diaper.
The clearance one.
The clearance ones. Pretty easy mulligan here. A lot of clunky top end, no white. I think we're just hoping this Temple of Plenty finds us some gas. Really looking for a 2-drop.
See, they like when I visit.
You're allowed to visit whenever you want, honey love.
It's cold down here. I don't want to visit that often.
It is cold down here.
And you stand all the time. I've never come in here when you're sitting. Do you ever sit?
I sit like half the time.
Okay, well, I only come in the wrong half.
Need the pink beard back. Getting the beard dyed takes a while. That's kind of an ordeal. Especially because to do a color, they have to bleach it first.
I mean, that's good advice. Like, you're just gonna throw them away. Oh, yeah, how many do we need to get a new emote slot?
I don't think the channel's ever getting a new emote slot.
What's the next threshold?
We need 4,800. So when we had the big pink beard push, we pushed up a ton of emote slots. So to get an emote slot, my sub count would have to increase by like 50%, which is unlikely. So we'll probably just clear out one of the old
But
ones.
look, we just got one.
Hey, David Braun. Thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Prime's a real dollar, dudes. Thanks for using it to keep me around. When Christy figures out some of the Amazon baby registry, I'll link that. Beetle had asked about that earlier. So if folks want to pick something off of there, they can. New Lexicon, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. Champions is going all digital. I mean, that makes sense. But doing paper games seems like a lot of effort. Ezekiel, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. How do the boys react to the new sister? Jacob immediately said he loves baby sister. Declan, when asked if he loved baby sister too, responded with he needed to meet her first. He wasn't sure.
I need to wait until she's here and see what she's like, were his exact words.
Oh, dear.
Which, I mean, I guess is fair.
This deck's not been great at filling the bin for Sun's Champion, which has been awkward. And this has been a little bit of bad tension too. Lovestruck Beast alongside Venerated Loxodon has not felt stellar.
I think Declan is who he is because of karma from Jeffrey.
Are you saying I was an obnoxious child?
That's what I've heard. I didn't know you as a child.
Okay, so...
Oh, did you see the little critter that ran up
So
there?
that was a misclick. Yeah, some of the boards have things you can interact with, like there's one where a scorpion climbs around. So I guess we can Tribunal tap the Trawler and then like get a hit in here. But like we're only hitting for 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're putting them to 11. And then like they're gaining at least 5 next turn.
I have to go.
Okay, love you.
Bye. Love you too. Oh, did you want a kiss or something? My fingers are like numb just from standing down here.
Welcome to my lair. I am looking forward to the new office when we build it out won't have a window. So like there's a big window to my left that like just leaks cold air during the winter. I had someone respond to one of my tweets just now telling me the problem was net decking. And I just want you to know, chat, that the only appropriate response to people complaining about net decking is right click and blocking them. Alternatively, you could also walk away from them in paper. You're welcome to go peruse my tweets and find the person complaining about net decking. I would encourage you not to talk to them, but instead just block them and move on with your life. Life's short, chat. Don't give your time. Don't give your time to people that just want to waste it. Yeah, we need one more card for Elspeth here yet still. Did I just use in paper instead of in person? Of course. And they have a Conqueror's Death, so they're gonna get back their Dream Trawler here. Yikes. Alright, so spinner, some webs. Trim Loxodon, Trim and Assure, I think. Listen, Saven, don't try and wrap your mind around why they do the things that they do. It's just gonna be a recipe for making you sad. Clearly, WotC is releasing all the data themselves so Frank doesn't have to. Man, that's the most generous. If I was feeling optimistic today, I would say let's go with that, but I'm currently playing against Teferi Time Raveler, so I'm going to go with no. How about the Green Saga to fill the yard? I don't know. Like, the Green Saga to fill the yard technically addresses the escape problem, but, like, I feel like that's playing a card that's kind of mediocre to, like, enable my other card that's also kind of mediocre. Like, this deck feels like the kind of deck that's mostly been pushed out of the format by other better things. Like, the tokens decks have always felt a little bit mediocre to me. They ride that kind of awkward spot between not quite an aggro deck, but not quite a mid-range deck. So, like, they don't generate card advantage, but they also can't get under people a lot of the time. So you have a hard time closing the game out so you get out-carded later. These decks also tend to be very synergy driven. So, like, for example, we're playing Grizzly Bear, basically, in a lot of games. But I mean, even if you think about, like, green-white tokens from Shadow Standard, in Shadow Standard, green-white tokens had really good cards in it, like Avacyn, right? Like, that deck was a deck that had high card quality in it. I'm excited to get Shattered next turn. Okay. Survey says it was good in GRN2. I don't actually think that deck was very good in that format. You're right that I lost to it in the finals of a tournament, but remember, like, doing well in one tournament doesn't mean a deck is necessarily good. It definitely saw some play there, but I think even though it was seeing play, it had the issues I was describing. It's a deck that's, like, not quite aggressive, but also, like, as it gets to the mid game, doesn't have any card advantage in it. Oh, I mean, yeah. They don't have anything to get back with Conqueror's Death, at least. Glass half full. Insert obligatory Scred, what a GP. Yeah. So just to rehash what we kind of talked about in that last match here, just a deck that's kind of aggressive, but not really aggressive enough to close out most games. Individual card quality is a little bit low. Again, the easiest way to think about, like, what's the card quality look like in my deck is how many cards does this deck play that other decks in the format also play? And the answer is basically Lovestruck Beast and maybe Iroan games. This card was very good in the Groll deck that we played, but overall, a lot of these cards are pretty individually weak, and I just didn't feel like I could successfully get under people, and I didn't feel like I had enough staying power to go over the top of them either. And then we also, like, just get punked out by Embercleave still, like a lot of decks do. So I felt like this one was a little bit of a miss to me overall. Total power level not quite there. Speaking of punking people out with Embercleave, though, we're gonna wrap things up today with some red-black knights here, featuring Big Dumb Dino and some Embercleaves. I'm gonna go ahead and hit a quick ad roll while I get set up for this next one, and when we get back, we are gonna strap some swords onto some stumpy dinosaur arms and hopefully, get some people. Back in a few, folks. Thanks for hanging out today.